I'd start shouting people out right now, but that's a slippery slope. But shout out my mom and my dad. And the group chat. Let's get it.
What's up, football fans? I'm Rob Planner. I'm with Joe Hackett.
What
It's
up, what
the
up?
Playbook. We're back, man. Some changes going on, man. We got cameras going and stuff, man. We locked in the house, man. We bored in the house.
And we in the house board.
So first off, I just want to start with, it's been a long time. We've been on a hiatus, and it kind of, life gets in the way, bro. Like, this isn't something that we just started because, like, quarantine and, we just want to do it, and, we're bored and we got nothing else better to do. Like, bro, we've been doing this. We're on record having these shows. So this is something that me and Joe, we've been at it, bro. We started it like preseason last year. And, obviously we're part of the Sports Opinion podcast umbrella. And what the Playbook is it's somewhere where you can come, you can understand football. We're going to break it down for you. And I actually like the video format better because I think we'll be able to start showing certain things and people can see, this is what we're talking about. Look, when this guy's moving here in a 3-4 defense, this is why an inside linebacker is so important, kind of thing. So I do like the video aspect of it more. But Joe, you got anything about the hiatus? Anything you want to add to it, or why we've been?
Yeah, I gotta say the hiatus was partially my fault because I was just so unmotivated, or I was focused on different things with like the music stuff. I was really, I was really getting good at it. Unfortunately, this COVID stuff really slowed it down. But I also like the video format because you could see how many times I'm going to check my notes while I talk.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, bro, what are you doing this? I'm going to be like, bro, I look at my notes.
Yeah, I wrote this here. Hold on, let me scroll and find it. Act like I'm just talking real slow. I can't do that now.
It's personal. You see people, but also what we want to do is I want to get athletes on the show. I want to get people on the show. We got a couple of people. My cousin Elijah McAllister at Vanderbilt. We got Shavar Reynolds who plays basketball at Hall. Like all these guys, they can bring different things to this show, and I think that'll help us grow organically more so with the podcast. And it just helps when you see faces that you see on TV that you're gonna see playing these sports. I got a bunch of dudes that we could have, so we're just gonna keep pushing through. And we're gonna, it's gonna have more fun with it, man. I just don't like the whole like trying to make
stick up my ass kind of like.
Trying to.
I know football and I need to tell you about it.
So that's what we're gonna do, bro. That's what we're gonna do. Me and Joe, we're gonna be back to it. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna see where it goes, kind of thing. So, Joe, let's talk about it.
Can we just run down what we're gonna do with the off season because there's like not a lot of football news. So like we're just gonna go. If something big happens, we're gonna be out there with a show on it.
That's kind of what we gotta. What's what we gotta do. I mean, we were planning on doing the show right after the draft because the draft was the first time that we had a chance to be like, wow, this is kind of normal.
Yeah.
We had something normal that we can like talk about and do. But like then it came and went, and there was a bunch of shows about it, and I heard about it. But it just, I don't know. It's not the same feeling. Like it's just not. Everything's so different now. So.
No, I feel bad for the players. Like,
yeah, I know.
Draft week, you're supposed to be out. What was it in Vegas? Was it supposed to be in Vegas this
supposed
year?
to be.
Could you imagine the wild stories? I'd go to Vegas just to see what would happen.
Just to see it,
Exactly,
But
and they had that all taken away from them.
Yeah, and now it's just something where it's how it had to be. It's just what we had to do, and this is, it won't be a new normal, but this was the normal for this year.
For this year.
And that, our first segment, if you want to call it, was going to be COVID and how it's affected sports and everything, but we pretty much covered it. I mean, it's different. Everything's different.
Yep.
There's no certainties. They're saying the NBA maybe July 22nd they'll come back, but the NHL.
Hold on.
Yep.
Imagine KD comes back for the playoffs.
Yeah, right. I didn't even think about that. That, bro. That changes. It changes so much. But even
I'd be holding my breath the entire time.
Because it's a different team. You're literally, and that's how every team's going to be that way.
And I don't want him to get hurt again, too.
Bro, because he might come back early and that whole.
Yeah.
But the thing is, different teams now. Like the Blazers, all those players that were hurt for the Blazers are going to come back.
Yep.
Like now there's going to be it's so different. It's a different NBA now because what was happening in March, this is now 2-3 months away. So
and
when they come back, it's.
Yeah, same thing with the NHL too. The NHL is doing a 20-team playoff.
Yeah, they're gonna, and it's like it's. I mean, hey, we knew we were gonna see weird stuff coming out of this.
Could you imagine? Do you think it would change playoffs if we let this happen? 20-team playoff, and the 20th seed gets to the Stanley Cup.
I mean,
Final.
it's gonna change how you think about it because we always say if we let more teams in, teams are gonna surprise us, bro. These are professionals. They're gonna get hot.
You see March Madness. It happens every year in March Madness.
All the time. If you let enough teams in, and that's why college football, we look at that and talk. Let's get back on track a little bit, Joe. Just a little bit. But more teams means more competition, and I think a lot of people are gonna like it. I think that that might be a good idea that we don't need to like shy away from as much. But all right, Joe, NFL draft, the New York Football Jets.
Yes.
Got the hat on. Let's just go through quick. Let's just quick each round, each pick, and let's just say what we have to say about each pick that the Jets made because I think that's where our heart's gonna be.
Yes. You want me to start us off?
If you want, we can start with the round 1, pick 11.
Yeah. Round 1, pick 11, Mekhi Becton out of Louisville.
Yes,
I think that's a great pick. He's very athletic. He's a big man. There's no reason a man that big should run so fast and be so agile. I think he's going to be our DeBrigashaw Ferguson, not to already make that claim, but if you remember the impact that Brigashaw had, and I don't know if we have a Nick Mangold yet to compliment him, but we at least got an athletic guy.
I think, and Joe, same. Honestly, I think he's going to be really good. I just think when you have a guy that's that big and just coming from a guy who's played defensive end and knows how it feels to go against tackles who are just massive humans kind of thing.
Yeah. Massive.
Yes, there's going to be a sacrifice in technique, but when you're 6'7", 370, whatever he is, like crazy measurables, like you're just going to be a lot stronger than guys. There's just going to be guys you can't do anything with. Like I was, talking to my cousin Elijah at Vanderbilt, there's just certain guys that you go against. Like he went against Andrew Thomas when they played Georgia week 1 and everything. And he was saying like, to some guys, you can't do anything. They're just that much bigger.
Good
yeah, I know. That's right.
Coach put me on the other side. I don't know what to do.
And he's going to be one of those guys. He's that big. He has that much size where you pick him because he's kind of a project. But any man who's that big, who, like you said, can move that fast, is that agile, they belong in the NFL. There's a reason why big people do well. This is still a sport for very big people. So that's the thoughts there. We're hoping for the best, but he should be good. Now, the next pick 59 overall.
Was such a good pick and such a great move by Joe Douglas. When he traded that pick, I wanted Denzel Mims, and I was like, "There's no way we're gonna get him now." I freaking threw my hat. I was so mad, and then he ended up falling to 59. This kid's a beast.
That's it. He's number 1 potential, no questions asked.
Yeah,
Denzel Mims can be a number 1 receiver in the NFL. There was times at Baylor where I just don't think they let him run the full route tree. That's like one of the things that's been a problem. But when he gets the opportunity to be a number 1, no saying he can't be. There's no saying he can't.
Also, Baylor's was always like flirting with that one read system under he's what's his name?
Rule or Matt Rule.
Yeah, under Matt Rule, Panthers coach now. Hope he does good. But Denzel Mims, dude, he's tall. He's physical, and he's fast. Like, this is a number 1 receiver that we got in the second round, late second round, mid to late second round. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, they like Pittman to the Colts. They like that pick, and they say Pittman.
Yeah.
And he's a good player, but I really think I think Mims is going to be better because Sam just wants someone to be able to – he just wants someone to lean on. And Herndon, I believe, was going to be that lean-on type of player, but – he can't stay on the field, so there's no
and
like.
He was out partying at Iron Bar with us
every weekend. We see this guy all the time. Like,
dude, you got a game tomorrow. I know you're not playing, but at least like show something. Like, why?
But I think he's a guy who you get with single coverage. You throw the ball in single coverage because he's gonna make the play. Like that's the kind of thing that Sam needs. And we got it. We got Perriman, got Mims. Hopefully Herndon's going to have a healthy season. We got plenty of guys who can make plays. Obviously Crowder is going to do everything in the slot that you could ask of him. So.
And Ryan Griffin is still our tight end who had a great year last year.
A great year. And then I can't think of Brown, the other guy, the third guy. Yeah, he's good too. I can't remember his first name, bro.
I can't. We were picking up people off the street.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we're a practice squad team that went 7-9. So let's put that in perspective with the Jets. But let's move on. Let's go through these late round picks. Just quick.
Oh,
hits
can I just say one more thing about
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Mims? There's two things I'm worried about. First thing is I think we're putting him as, oh, he's going to be our number 1 too fast. I think that's a lot to put on a second round draft pick.
It is. It is high for you.
But also, he also came out and said that he's going to make teams regret their decision. And recent history shows that has not been fair to Josh Rosen.
Yeah, I know, man.
I'm a little nervous about that, but let's just hope we get an Antonio Brown-esque kind of outcome where he doesn't go crazy.
And honestly, it's one of those things where as a receiver, I get it, because in most other drafts, almost the 10 guys that got if you looked at the first 10 receivers that got picked, they're first round picks.
Yeah.
If they're in any other class, but this class is just so deep, it's like, I can wait till 3 and go pick a guy up. I'm sure there's
and you'll get a number 1 or a number 2.
That thought Rieger, the Philly pick, Jalen Rieger. I'm sure there's people who were thinking like, oh, we'll just sit on him and wait till the 3rd. He's gone, you know. It's
I like him.
That's not – yes, he's a good – I think he's a good player. But it's like CeeDee Lamb is a guy who is a top 10 pick in most other drafts. He's slipped to 17 just because teams are like, why am I going to reach for this guy when I can get – why would the Jets reach for CeeDee Lamb when we can wait until 59 to get Mims? You know, like it's just one of those things. It's just how this draft was. It was deep at receiver. But again, who will be a number 1 and who will be a number 2? It was deep as far as number 2 and 3 receivers. Solid franchise players.
Yeah, you're going to get a guy for 4 or 5 years.
Exactly. I think you got a lot of that this year. But all right, let's move on. Let's go. So we had 2 third-round picks. Let's just quick hitter. Ashton Davis and Jabari Zuniga.
I love Ashton Davis.
I do love Ashton.
Dude, he's a dog. He's fast. He can recover. It's like it reminds me of a hard-hitting Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah.
You know, because Antonio Cromartie would get beat off the jump all the time, but he was just so athletic. He's that prototype kind of corner where he can just recover.
And it won't matter.
Be overlooking at butterflies and then.
And Davis is a track and field guy. He's a quick dude. He's one of those guys who worked hard. He was a walk-on, earned a scholarship, and became a third-round pick. You know, so he's a guy who's going to work hard. And at first, I think a lot of people were questioning, why did you do this? You got May, you got Adams, kind of thing. Like, it just means Jamal's leaving, kind of thing. No, I think you can't have enough depth in your secondary, which we found out firsthand last year. You know, I mean, and it can help. You can get Bless. You know, you can get Bless Austin, a guy who can compete for a spot, but at the same time, you don't want to be finding 6-rounders who you need to start. That's not how you win football games. So, you know, have depth in the secondary. You think you got a freak athlete to play with 2 other freak athletes to learn under, and he'll be a great special teams kid for us. So, worst case scenario, we have one of the best special teams players in the NFL. And you know, you want him to do more than that as a third rounder, but this kid, you know, you look at his ceiling, it can happen. It definitely can happen.
Yeah, and when I see this pick, I don't just see a safety. I see a slot corner. I see so many things because he's so athletic.
Yeah.
This kid can do a lot of things. He's not just a safety. He's not going to just come in for Marcus May or Jamal. He might come in for Bless, you know, run a little nickel, you know.
Corner,
you never know.
Nickel, anything you can. He's Swiss Army knife. You get a Swiss Army knife. That's just on defense, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so Zuniga, the D-end out of Florida. So, like, you know, third-round pick out of Florida. Everybody wants to point at Jachai Polite kind of thing. But, you know, completely different player. Like, you know, plays with his hands in the dirt more. I mean, he can stand up too, but he's an edge rusher. He's proven. I think he had an injury maybe his sophomore year or something.
Yeah, he's been pretty injury-prone. That's the knock on him. Not a fan of the coaching down in Florida because Jachai Polite didn't watch game film. I don't know how a player gets away with that. But a lot of people are saying this is the gem and the diamond in the rough that it could be attention for. So you never know.
And Jachai could have been it too. It just he was. You see why draft stock drops for certain guys, and hopefully for Zuniga, it's just the fact that he's the injuries. Hopefully, it's just the injuries. There's nothing more serious than that, but we'll see.
Yeah,
so
and the farther you get down in this, the more you get like. It's a crapshoot. That's what the draft is.
Yeah,
I think even with quarterbacks, first-round quarterbacks, it's a crapshoot whether you're going to get a good one.
Yeah, you just don't know because you haven't really gotten to it's different how you're evaluating everything. You're not in there in person. You don't get to you don't get to see the reactions to certain questions that you might see if you were face to face with them. Like, you can do a Zoom call, but there's just certain mannerisms that, I mean, NFL teams look at everything with these dudes. So the fact that you have to do everything online now, I'm sure they have a good idea, but there's just feelings you get with certain dudes, like being around them, how they carry themselves, how they walk through the locker room,
the energy
things they look
bring,
at, and what they think is important when you take them on a tour of your facilities. Like, this guy, maybe there's a guy who's like, oh, I love the way this film room looks. I'm going to spend a lot of time in here. And that's something that just clicks, and you're like, oh, this is something that Peyton Manning did when he came. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. You just don't get it. So you never know. You never know, especially with these late rounds when there's like these small hair things that can go one way or the other. But just so we don't go through every single one, because we're supposed to be talking about the entire NFL here, let's just did you have any late round picks that really stuck out to you with the Jets?
Yeah, I really like the running back LaMichael Pirine, also out of Florida. I think he reminds me of Bilal Powell a lot. He's going to do everything, and he runs hard. And then I also love our last pick, round 6, pick 191, Brandon Mann.
Yeah.
If you watch some of the punts this guy did in college, he could drop it inside the 5 consistently.
And he's got a leg too, man. He can flip the field when you need him to flip the field. But that's one thing that a lot of other podcasters that I'll listen to, and they're saying like this is a punter. Like, if that's a great pick for the Jets right there, because you don't appreciate a good punter or a good kicker until you need him. So, and he's one who he's going to be he's going to be good. This is it's very consensus. This is a really good pick kind of thing. If I had to
the
pick
ball
one,
just goes no matter what level you play,
Exactly. That's just one. Good special teams is good special teams, man. You don't appreciate it till you need it, and it win and loses games all the time.
Look at all the games we gave teams less than half a field because of bad punts.
Yep.
I love Lachlan Edwards. He was great before this year, but
if you have a punter who can't get it done, you just gotta you gotta bring in somebody who can do it. That's just you gotta bring in a guy who gives you a better chance. So, but I think my best as far as late round picks, I like we got a pick from the Patriots, right? That they got from the Ravens, I believe, in the 4th round, and we got Cameron Clark. So Cameron Clark's he's a tackle, but I think he's gonna probably play guard for us, add some guard depth in there for us, and he's really good friends with Becton. So they're gonna be they're going to be, when he got drafted, Becton was like, oh, that's my boy, I'm so happy for you kind of thing. And that's good because, when you got a guy who comes in and they're going to be in the same room, they'll be in the O-line room, they'll be learning together kind of thing. You can kind of develop each other and get some, because there's really not that much veteran leadership on our line right now. So you kind of got to get the young guys together and get them to form their own, way. This is how it's going to be. This is how we're going to play kind of thing. So I think that'll it adds good depth, and I also think he could be a starter for us this year. He could plug in and start at some point or another, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, if you look at where we were last year, I think we could plug anyone in there.
Joe, it's honest, and when you
and it would be better.
And when it comes to O-line, Joe, you can't have enough. O-line's like secondary. They're guys who you absolutely need, and sometimes you just gotta sign a bunch of them and hope one of them clicks. Like, it's just what you got to do. That's just how it is. And another thing that's my favorite late round pick, but also I like what Joe is doing with, Bryce Hall was a 5th rounder that we picked out of Virginia. He was a guy who was slotted to be a great corner, and then he had injury issues. So we'll see what happens. And then Lamar Jackson too, we signed him, undrafted free agent. We'll see what happens with him. We got a bunch of guys, and we're just gonna see who hits, see who pops. That's really what you gotta do.
I don't want to predict anything crazy, but the last team that had Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco on the same team, they made the playoffs.
They did make the playoffs.
Maybe one and done, but hey, I'll cry if we make the playoffs. It's been a decade.
Yeah. So that leads right into the next thing. What do you think about Flacco, Joe? What are we thinking about that?
I love Joe Flacco. I think it's great for Sam. He's not going to be able to play day one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know what we're doing for backup for when Sam contracts COVID-20. But I guess we'll just take it as it goes, day by day.
Yeah, that's really what you got to say. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't know how it could be a bad idea. You bring in a veteran guy. You got somebody who can run the offense. You go from there. You think he's the guy who can do it. If something happens to Sam, like what happened last year, we're not hopeless for 3 weeks. Hopeless, and then also just lucky that we had an early bye last week, last year. So I think that
people forget where this guy was. Joe Flacco, there was a actual debate back in the 2010s
Oh yeah.
on whether this guy was elite or not, and he won a Super Bowl. We have a
That's
Super
what
Bowl
I'm.
quarterback. Like,
He was super. Yep.
we haven't had that in a while.
And he's not, quarterbacks a lot of times gonna be as good as the pieces you put around them. Obviously,
Yeah.
Denver was not his best days, but
Yeah.
it's Denver. There's really nothing there for you. So we'll see what happens with Joe. And then now we got to talk about Jamal before we just move on from the Jets. This is the last Jets thing, and then we'll move on.
I actually
Jamal
got one
Adams.
more thing with the Jets, if that's okay. But we'll talk about Jamal because he was scaring me a little bit. This team is like this front office. Okay, I'm so confident in this front office after the
very
draft.
more than I've ever been. Yeah.
But can you sign our defensive player of the year, our MVP of the team? Can you sign the guy who holds it all together?
Almost consensus best safety in the league at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he's in our head, he's the best safety in the league. But everyone's almost pointing him being the best safety. But what I think the issue is with this offseason, with all these contract negotiations, I don't think anything's going to get signed because the CBA is going to be completely different after this. We don't know what ticket revenue. We don't know what the NFL doesn't know what their bottom line is going to be. So they have to change it because this season is going to have a huge impact. Like, you can't sign a contract now because you don't know what your contract's supposed to be.
What it's going to be.
What's going on. You still got to figure out what that's going to look like. So I see why there's not too many extensions. The big deals aren't going to get signed because there's no right way to sign a big deal right now. I think that's what people really need to, understand. That's what we really got to understand.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I haven't paid attention to anything in like a couple months, but I don't think Patrick Mahomes' deal's done. He's just the best quarterback in the league.
And obviously they're gonna sign him. They're gonna find a way to get the money to sign the best play. Not the best. I wouldn't say best play. The best player in the NFL is Russell Wilson, but the best. If you're gonna start a team, Patrick Mahomes,
quarterback in the league. The best quarterback in the league.
Exactly. And there's going to be similar problems in the NBA with Giannis and because he needs to sign a deal soon. But what is a supermax in this situation? There's no bottom line.
There's none,
So you can't sit here and sign a guy, even Dak's situation. Dak could probably get more money. Maybe we'll see kind of thing, but you can't make – does he deserve it? No, probably not. He probably,
42.
But I get where he's coming from. There's no certainty. That's the problem. Like, we can talk numbers as much as we want. That the old bottom line is not the new bottom line.
Yeah.
So until we get that figured out, contracts are off in the air. That's my point with Jamal's situation. But go ahead with your last Jets thing, Joe.
A couple of free agents that are still on the market. I want to hear your take on them. If we were to sign Jason Peters, how would you feel?
I'm not
only going to get 3 quarters out of him, but I feel like it's a good guy to have on the team. It's a coach.
I think I like the idea of it, but I think, first off, he's going to want a certain amount of money. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You got to think about that, which Douglas, he doesn't want to do. And also, we want to make Becton our franchise guy, so why play with that? Like, what are you going to move Peters to right, move him to right? I think it's just, let's keep him over there. Let's work with our youth, see if another guy pops kind of thing. And then Peters is just kind of – I feel the same way about him as – well, less so. Clowney's problem, I think, is different.
That's what I was going to bring up next.
And I think Clowney – see, my thing with Clowney is he's just going to want a certain number. And, again, I don't feel comfortable, signing a guy who –
giving him that big deal.
Yeah, I don't know, and there's a reason why. Like, he's probably fired his agent because he should have been signed a long time ago. I think they're being a lot more greedy, and they need to realize either – who knows? It could be Clowney, it could be his agent kind of thing. They both might be on the same page, but like, he's not the player they thought he was in this market. It's kind of like what happened with Le'Veon. He got lucky that McCagnon wanted him. That was really what it came down to. So if it wasn't for that, Lev would just be, in the situation that you saw Melvin Gordon in, where it's like, dude, running backs don't matter anymore, bro. Like, you don't matter. So it's just, and Lev was the last one who got lucky because everybody else, you're not getting paid as a running back anymore. NFL's not there anymore. So it's just one of those things with Clowney, where he's, he's going to have to take a lot less money because
I think that's going to end up happening.
A lot less money for 1 year. That's all it is. That's all there is.
And would you consider him, because just the final thought, would you consider Clowney a bust?
See, that he's supposed to be giving you 10 to 15 sacks a year. And he's only had, 1 9-sack year or something, maybe 1 10-sack year or something like that. He's giving you 7 to 9, but you need 10 to 14
He's a
for
good
what you.
player.
He's a number one pick, Joe.
Yeah.
That's like you got to.
But he was the number one pick, so.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say he's a bust, but it's not what you want from him.
He's in the territory. He's in the territory.
Yeah,
in first round bust, you could say he's a first overall pick kind of bust guy.
But if you pick a DN first overall, you better get Myles Garrett. That's what you want. He's not Myles Garrett. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also when you think about busts, you got to think about what they did for not just for what they're doing now, for the team that drafted them. He's not even on the team anymore. So I gotta say that's a bust.
You're looking in that area, and
I gotta say it's a bust. But he can still turn it around. Look at
he can still play, and he had good moments in Seattle. He has good moments, but I just think his motor is too off and on, and that's why he's not getting the deal. He's just not getting the deal because he's a freak. But you got to be a freak every single week, bro. Like there's no downs off. Like how it is. So, just moving on. So we got best off-season scheme fit. So now we're getting back to like what the playbook's supposed to be more about, and let's just limit it to like one player here. All right. So my go-to right here, D-Hop went to the Cardinals. I think it was a great trade. A lot of people think they robbed. I mean, how do you not get a first rounder for DeAndre Hopkins, right?
Hold on. It wasn't a great trade. It was a great trade for one team.
That's what. Yeah, one-sided.
Okay. Bill O'Brien. Exactly. Bill O'Brien should be out of the building right now. You got a young quarterback. You got a guy who helps that young quarterback, and you give him to another young quarterback. I'd be pretty mad if I was a Texans fan. I'd be switching over to Dallas.
But and that it's on one hand, right? You look at it, and what they get back? They get not a first rounder, which that bothers me. That's the part that bothers me. But they have been looking for the running back. There hasn't been a running back in it, and again, it doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter because they've been trading for running backs the past 2 years, and they have solid running backs. They really do.
Yeah, you see they can get to the playoffs. They can do well against the Bills. It was kind of not a miracle win, but it wasn't a great. It was an ugly win that they had against the Bills, but they won. They won the game with what they were doing. So I don't know, but I do know they get David Johnson. They still have Deshaun Watson. They got Brandon Cooks now. Solid O-line. They got Will Fuller's coming back. He'll be off the injury. He had like a hamstring thing last year, I'm pretty sure.
The issue is you traded for a running back who was great 3 years ago.
And now also it's not a running back league.
Now he just can't finish the season.
So it's one of those things where hopefully Deshaun Watson, he's not doing it alone. I think a lot of people are saying, oh, he's by himself. He's not by himself, but he also doesn't have a top 3 receiver in the NFL anymore. Yeah. So, but Kyler Murray does. And that's the point of this. Best scheme fit. You got Kyler Murray. They picked up, who was it? He was on the Steelers a while ago. They picked up a tackle too. Arizona did too. And, they're going to be a good team, man. This Cardinals team, they beat the Seahawks. Kyler Murray's, he's firing, man. He's a good quarterback, and he came out and proved that,
Kyler Murray is going to be in the MVP talk. People think I'm stupid for that, but I really do think. I think they got they picked up the defensive slack. I think they got a good coach who I honestly wanted for the Jets. But hey, I think they got they're in a tough division. That's the only issue.
But the thing is, when you have let's look at the Ravens offense, right? Mm-hmm. Very like wildcatty, very like power run offense, but fast guys in the back. It's like that Cardinals offense is more of it's a Seattle offense, but it's more. Mm-hmm. It's like a merge of if you take what Seattle does and you take what Baltimore does and you merge them together. Yeah, that's what's gonna work for Kyler, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You get out, but the thing is when you're out, when you roll the pocket a lot, you got to be smart. But those one-on-one situations, you have guys you can DK Metcalf. Yep. Russ can throw the ball to him one-on-one. Mm-hmm. He can make a play. It's, with the Ravens kind of thing. You got Mark Andrews. You got 3 tight ends who all can catch the ball one-on-one coverage because when you roll the pocket, there's going to be one guy on that guy. You just got to make that play. Mm-hmm. And if you get more guys who can do that, that's going to be dangerous. Kyler and D-Hop is something to watch out for just because when you get in space and you need someone to make a one-on-one catch, he's going to make it almost every single 9 times out of 10, he's coming down with the ball, kind of thing. So that's huge. That's huge. So Joe, who do you think was the biggest offseason, biggest difference maker if you had to, one signing, I would say?
Well, there's kind of 2. I'm stuck on.
Okay.
And we all could agree, what's the most important position in football?
Yeah, quarterback, man. That's
Quarterback. So we had two legendary quarterbacks just move. Okay, we're gonna talk about Tom Brady. Okay, I'll get to him because it's stupid the weapons he has. But we have Phillip Rivers going to the Colts,
and they love him.
They love him. You know, I think they got a great quarterback. We'll see what he does. If he could do what he did 2 years ago and not last year, then you got yourself a contender. You know, they have a solid defense. You know, the running back is Marlon Mack. He's hit or miss, but he's a good running back.
And you got Jonathan Taylor too there, man. So you got a nice two-headed. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough team.
The only thing you're gonna kind of see the issue he had, or the issue Deshaun Watson's gonna have this year is the receivers are gonna have to step up.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's why a lot of people like the Colts because they got the Pittman pick, and the reason Pittman's important is because T.Y. Hilton's great. But T.Y. Hilton hasn't – I don't think he's ever played a full season. I don't think he's ever played a full 16 games. So, it's like
you
he's going to
look at their record without him, too.
Yeah, and they need him. That's what you need him on the field, but he can't – he's proven his body can't give you 16 games. It's through and through, and he's getting up there. He's 27 to 28 now. So, it's not just going to get better, you know. So, you got to – they're making the right steps, and it could be a really good decision for the Colts because you can look at the Colts. I mean, Andrew Luck doesn't retire. They're right in the conversation with one of the best teams and the best young crop of players. So all they need was that one quarterback who can figure it out. Colts are gonna be a good team this year. Colts gonna be a real good team this year.
There, and then you got Tom Brady.
Man.
What was Tom Brady missing last year? Good receivers.
A go-to
receiver. You know, Julian Edelman's small. He's a great slot guy. He's the best slot. He might be one of the best slots in NFL history. We got to start acknowledging that based on what he did in the postseason, stuff like that. But now he has Mike Evans.
Dude, it is like ridiculous.
He's got the only thing he's really missing is a run game, but this is Tom Brady.
I was gonna say it's just and that's what I remember. So Rex Ryan's talking about who would you rather have between if you're Belichick Brady. Every day of the week, Belichick's a defensive guy. He can bring guys in. Tom Brady is this is what's going on. These rings. He doesn't have those rings because it's Brady. Brady's good, man. Like
Bill Belichick got fired from the Browns.
Yeah, it's you got to think there's a reason why this guy's just that good. He's just that.
Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. I get it. Like I'm not going to sit here, but. People who are going to sit here and say Tom Brady's this, Tom Brady's not the best, like you just got to watch.
You got to give credit. You got to, I know. You got to give credit where it's due. And he's throwing short routes, blah, blah, blah. He's making smart decisions. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and that's as a quarterback.
Tom Brady almost got arrested during this COVID thing because he was practicing, in Tampa.
He's absolutely he's going to win. He's a winner kind of thing. And like you were saying, he was missing a go-to receiver. There's a reason why he was fighting tooth and nail for Antonio Brown. There's a reason why he was fighting tooth and nail for Josh Gordon. Then if he has a guy who can't do it, they'll get him out of there. That's why Demaryius Thomas was gone, bro. We thought you were this guy, but you're not. I'll see you later.
Not anymore,
Now he has, arguably top 5 receiver in the NFL, Mike Evans. He just needs someone that
the only issue was he had people who weren't very good at throwing the football, throwing him the football. And still I like Jameis Winston.
Still was nuts.
I think he has to be a starter. You throw 30 touchdowns while you're blind. You throw 30 touchdowns while you're blind, you gotta be a starter somewhere.
He's a starter in the NFL, man. I mean Jameis is man. He's working hard too, man.
Yeah.
You gotta love Jameis.
He's the duality of man. You gotta love him, but now that he could see where he's throwing,
I know it's going to be a different
45 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Okay, and let's be realistic. 3 interceptions for next time he starts.
Look who he's learning under. He's got Drew Brees ahead of him now, so he's even got that can be a beautiful thing for him. That really can be a beautiful thing for James.
Jameis Winston's going to have the amazing tale of two halves career ever.
Hopefully, bro. But
he could see now. He's learning under Drew Brees. He already threw 30 touchdowns in the season. This guy, he's gonna be a dog. He's coming. He
is, man. But I think Brady. What we said about Brady, I think, man. Now he's got every weapon on the planet. So we'll see. And that Bucs team isn't bad, man. I mean, Devin White on defense. They got they got a lot of pieces. They got a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
It's about putting it together. So,
mm-hmm.
And that'll do it for today, man. We wanted to keep it shorter than we could. I mean, hopefully, you know, you enjoyed watching us interact, maybe a little more reactions with what we're doing. But I mean, I think we covered a lot. I mean, we talked a lot about the Jets, but we did branch off, get where we need to go, and then obviously we'll be more specific on how these guys are gonna really impact the team. But offseason, not a lot of X's and O's, just about what we think is gonna fit, what we think is gonna work. And
there's only so much we could really talk about right now. I mean, I'm stuck in my house, so like, so are the NFL players.
Yeah.
So.
That's it, and everybody, you know, everybody's trying to stay in shape however we can. You know, Joe's
I'm getting ready
rock.
to run.
That's what, but I'm about to go just play basketball now, bro. Just, you know, empty court kind of thing.
Your parks are open?
Around. Yeah, bro. They didn't take the hoops down in Washington, so every hoop is. I know for you guys.
I think they just unlocked 6th Ave Park, but like they did it during the week, so like everyone's like, nah, I just got back from work. I got that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's, I mean. Here it's been a lot more normal because I'm in Washington State. For those who don't know, it's been a lot more normal, but it's you know, it's still different. You know, like you're not gonna see people playing pickup at the park. That's just not a thing. You know, people, you know, they kind of shoot on different hoops. You kind of try to stay away from people. Don't touch the different balls, kind of thing. Which I mean, you know, now the NBA's got the facilities open and guys are going to facilities in states that they can, and even there, you know, they can't. They're not. I mean, I'm sure those guys they're having almost regular practices. I'm like, I doubt they probably followed it maybe the first week, but I'm sure those guys are kind of not being as careful because they've been playing against each other forever. Like these dudes they're competitive. They know they're not gonna, you know, get sick in all likelihood. So they've probably been doing this forever, but it's open now and they're doing it the right way. So we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. But all right, Joe. It was fun. It was fun. Hopefully we'll be back on, you know, next thing, I guess big thing happens, we'll come back on, we'll get back into it. Maybe we'll set up an interview or something for the next time around. But this has been The Playbook with Rob and Joe on the Sports Opinions podcast, under the Sports Opinions podcast umbrella. Man, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna try to keep the college football out of it. You know, I think we got under 40 minutes this time, maybe once Alex makes the cuts or whatever. But Joe, you wanna shout out social media? You wanna do your thing?
Yo, I didn't plan this at all. So Joe Hack _ I think on Twitter. Joseph no, Joseph
I think it's just Joe Hackett. I think it's Joe Hackett _
Joe Hackett _ on Instagram.
On both, maybe.
And then no, Twitter's Joe Hack _ I know that.
Okay.
Instagram, I think it's Joe Hackett _
Joe Hackett _ yeah.
And then SoundCloud is just Hack. I switched.
It's just Hack. All right, I like it. We'll be back. Hack will be back. Hack will be back. It's coming, bro. It's not. There's no killing that. We can't allow that. AOK is too good of a song to kill this, bro. I can't allow it to be gone.
And I'm gonna fix it up a little because there are some things that I want to do with the leveling. So
want to change it up.
It's coming on. It's gonna come on Apple Music and Spotify.
We're gonna
get your TikToks ready.
We're gonna get there.
Get your funny videos ready. Okay, we're gonna have a good time.
So it's Hack on SoundCloud. We got Hack Raps on Instagram. It's coming back. Making it come back. So
it just sucks because this COVID stuff really shut everything down, kind of. So
it's tough.
Yeah. So people are home all the time. I can't record. So we're gonna be back on. You don't want to get
the background noise and.
We're gonna be
we'll get there. We got at Sports Opinions 30 on Instagram, at Sports Opinions on Twitter. You know, if you want to find us, truthfully, go to Sports Opinions page, man. You'll look through the retweets and likes. You'll see that we're in there. So it's just me. I'm at RepJR on Instagram. We're doing what we can. We're trying to stay safe, man. We're trying to have fun with this. We're gonna be back to it. You know, again. Thank you, Alex. Alex, we're back. I told you the show was gonna get done, son. I told you to get done. We got it done. Gonna be, you know, we're gonna keep getting better. We get better every day. I think the interviews will really help out, so we're really gonna start doing that. I'm gonna reach out to my cousin actually. I'm trying to have him on maybe our next show. So we'll see, Joe. But that's gonna do it. I hope you guys have fun. I know. Go ahead, Joe.
Just remember, we're not your news station. We are all in this together with this COVID stuff. Look at my hair. Look at that. That's not loud. Okay, so we are.
I would take mine off the bridge. The bridge aren't ready yet, some, but same thing.
You know, unemployed right now. So we are actually all in this together. When we say this, when me and Rob say this to you, we're not lying. We're not getting paid for this. We are all in this together.
we're all doing it. We're all trying to figure it out. We're flying, we're learning to fly the plane as we're in the air already. So we're just, but
and
everybody.
If Bart Scott, I saw you retweeted Alex. If Bart Scott watches this, what up, dog? Can't wait. Bro. Big fan. Can't wait. We got to have Bart Scott on here.
We should. And you know what? That's what the beauty of just working with certain people. I can always, and there's going to be other kids from Vanderbilt I can get on, bro. Like, trust me. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. But for now, hope you guys have fun. Everybody stay safe at home. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far.
Longest outro ever.
Is what it is. This is the longest one, but it's been a while, man. Give us a break. So, all right, Joe. Till next time, everybody. We'll see you next time.